Auntie Karen, will you tell me the story about how you helped my cousin Cadence learn about Mobile with Flat Stanley?
Sure. I didn't know who Flat Stanley originally was until my granddaughter, who lives up in Washington State, two of them actually, the one that was doing the project asked me to take Flat Stanley along with me everywhere I go for 1 week here in Alabama. So Flat Stanley came to work with me. Let's see, we went, well, I explained the culture down here was very different from what we knew in California. And everything from the seafood to the way people talk to with their southern accents and their phrases that they use mean something totally different than what we would think, and there were a few things that I really liked about the food, and then others were not agreeable. So I took them along with me. I thought going downtown on a tour of Mobile would be the best, and we took pictures everywhere we went. Our first stop was of a mansion. I forget what street it was on, but big mansion, and he got his picture taken in front of it on the stairs. Well, I know it was built in 1855. That was about it. And it was the center of the social life, and when cotton was popular and all of that, and it was just a big meeting place for the people of the kind of upper elite. Then we went to downtown to Bienville Square. We saw music playing. We saw arts and crafts. I took him to the old cathedral inside and out. I took pictures with him there. And then we went down to Mobile Bay, watched the fishermen and the dragon boat races. And then on to the Maritime Museum, explained all the different exhibits inside, how 90 of them were hands-on for children and all that. So we even went down to Alligator Alley and walked them along the boardwalk, took pictures with them by the fence looking for alligators. And then I explained what Mardi Gras was all about and how it originated in Mobile instead of actually New Orleans, Louisiana. Then our last stop was the USS Alabama warship, and it was used over, I think, 73 years ago. And after World War II, she rested for a long time in where else but Bremerton, Washington, which is just a few miles from where my granddaughters, my daughter and her husband live. So it made a nice connection between Mobile and where I used to go up to even 40 years ago. I've been going up to Washington State. And what was interesting is she was, after World War II, she rested there in Bremerton, Washington, which is in the water, and she was getting rusty and old, and all the kids in 1964, all the school children started collecting their nickels, dimes, and quarters. And they raised over $100,000 to bring her back home to Alabama. So I think that was a pretty cool story, which I learned from my granddaughter just doing this report, and thought it'd be really interesting for someone who might not have known that. And that was my story as far as telling you how Flat Stanley made us all learn a little something from history.